How you doing? I hope everything's been good for you this Friday. We're going into Fairview. That's right. It's time to have a look at the Friday Fairview meeting, which promises to be 8 races on the card. And we start our day off at 10 to 1 and we ended around 5 to 5. Let's go through the information. It's on the turf track. Don't forget about that. So make a note of that. It's not a poly meet, it's a turf meet at this point in time. And of course, we've got Daryn Burroughs on the line who will help us with the first leg of the bipod. Daryn, good morning.
Good morning, Clyde. I'm not getting too involved in race 1 and 2. I think it's very tricky. If you can survive the exotics, you've done well. Race 1, I would include numbers 1, 2, 7, 8, and 14 in no particular order.
Okay, no particular order from Darren's side. Tough race first. Darryl, Maree's with me. Morning to you.
Morning. Thank you, Clyde.
Good to see you. What's happening with the Fairview meet?
We're having a wager, a strike.
Are
We're having a strike.
Well, Daryn was hesitant, so I mean, he's
number 8,
you
Bavarian
need
Jet.
to
I don't know
persuade
if
us.
you recall, Clyde. The last time she ran, we stuck our viewers and our supporters, our fans, into a Hey Siri at 2 to 1. She started odds on. This is the filly that was 5 to 10, drifted off the boards. She ran second. She stayed on slightly. She looked in trouble, but now they've fitted a set of blinkers on her, Clyde. And have a look who's riding her. Sibongile Liyaba.
Mm-hmm.
His last 3 rides have been all in the winner's enclosure. She's going to get all the assistance she needs from the saddle, and I think she'll win.
Okay, what price is that?
33.
Did we say 33 to 10? So that's our start of the day, eh?
That's my
work
start.
Riders, you happy? All of that sort of stuff.
I'm
happy. We're ticking all those boxes.
I don't like a few of the other form lines. She's got a work rider that's obviously riding with a lot of confidence. So for me, she'll take all the beating.
Okay, well, we're going to go to bipods up. We've got 2 bipods to show you. Firstly, Darryl's.
Yes, Bank of the 8, Bavarian Jet. By 3 and 5, by 1 and 2, by 1 and 8, by 3, 9 and 10, by 8, 10 and 15. 360 Rand will get you 5 times. We'll take that perm for 72 Rand.
Okay, so a lot of confidence from Darryl in the first race at a good price too. I would imagine it's going to start shorter. Daryn, I would imagine you're going a few.
I'm going a couple. I don't trust this race. 2, 7, 8, and 14 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 by 1 and 2. By banker number 1 in the 4th, that's waiting for summer. By 2, 7, 8, 10, and 12. By 10 a banker, Chronicles of Narnia in the last leg at 200 Rand perm.
It's a maiden class field, the second race, and in this race, Nelly Bly is the best weighted in terms of ratings when you look at plated races. Have a look at the market, give you an idea as to Daryn what they're recommending. And Nelly Bly, you can get around 7, 8 to 1. But the one that they've rated favourite here is Seismic Event, Daryn, at 28 to 10, with the source Goom Goom at the second choice at 33 to 10.
Yes, Clyde, another race I'm not getting involved in. Seismic Event, he goes for 800 meters and he doesn't find extra. Horses like Goom Goom, maybe better over slightly further. Dog Detachment's got a chance. Captain Morn, Greek Mafia, Horsey. So I'm not getting involved.
Okay, so tough race again from your side. Darryl, what have you worked out? Have you found a horse?
What did you say? The market suggests Nelly Bly's the right one, and then you said she's 8 to 1.
No, the market's saying it's 8 to 1, but the best weighted is that Nelly Bly's the right one on ratings. If ratings and plated races go together, then they're saying Nelly Bly best weighted. Okay. But you can get 7, 8 to 1.
No, I don't like her. No.
So what do you like?
I'm done with her.
Right.
Clyde, have a look at number 3, Captain Morn, obviously making his local debut. We've seen that form line, tough terrain, and Max the Otter. He could certainly improve in a weaker centre. I like the look of number 5 over here, Horsey. Now, he has been disappointing, but I think those runs have been on the poly track. I believe he's a better turf horse. Go back to his turf runs. He ran second to Berenberg. He's a 3-time winner now. He ran 4th to Zatara Magic, came out and ran second to Kaya's Hope. So for me, Horsey represents the value. And I'm going to say, what price is he?
Right now, I'll give you an idea. Currently 6 to 1.
Yes, I'm happy.
So you're happy to have a go?
I'm happy.
All right. Well, Richard's, I must say that the last few meetings, Richard's been on top of it. So Alan Greef, Richard Free teaming up over here. Perhaps the right one. 6-1 currently on offer. It's a place accumulator race. So we have got those place accumulators lined up. Darryl, yours first?
3 and 5 by 1 and 2, by 1 and 8, by 5, 9 and 10, by 8, 10 and 15, bank of the 6, by 1, 2, 3, 5 and 9.
Okay, let's get to Daryn Burroughs.
My PA is 1, 2, 3 by 1, by 1, by 2, 10, 12, by 1 and 10, by 6, by 2 and 3, 360 Rand. Will give it to you 10 times.
We have an odds-on favourite running here called Gimme More Times, trading at around 15 to 20. Second choice right on top of it, Alan Greef's horse, Admiral's Chance, at 13 to 10. And the market making it absolutely those two. Daryn, or is it just one for you?
No, 2 horses for me, Clyde. Normally, I'm a big fan of Cape Town form lines, and I am of Gimme More Time. I think he came on the right way last time out when stepped up in trip behind Bardeline, and he should run a big race. But I've got respect for Admiral's Chance. He's in form and he should run well. So 1 and 2 in that order.
Okay, so Admiral's Chance, you're not leaving that out of the play. I suppose got to have a chance. Both form lines, I see at this point in time, still early days, but nothing really is fired up. But it does appear to be, from a market perspective anyway, those two, or is there something beyond that?
No, I think those two will suffice and fight it out, Clyde. Daryn touched on that. Give me more time. His latest start has been his best to date, and that was over the 1400. Got a 1 draw, lot in his favour. Admiral's Chance, his form lines aren't that great. So Yaverman, he had a few moderate sorts around him. Last time out, beaten by a struggling maiden in Chariot Master, Clyde. But he has been consistent with the blinkers. He's got pace. He'll probably have first run on Give Me More Time. So I'm not going to stick at my neck out. So be a 1 and 2 to fight it out.
Okay, so 2-horse race then for Darryl and for Daryn. Pretty much the rest of the field is really not much one can go on
Clyde,
about. So
obviously Prince of Heaven is the inclusion for trifectas and quartets. I think he's let the side down.
Who's riding it?
Wayne.
Wayne de Grello, okay.
Yes.
Do you want to
they
put it
actually rate this horse.
Do they?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just didn't see out the trip in his latest.
But can't beat his favourites, right?
I don't think I'm saying for trifectas and quartets.
Trifectas, quartets. Thank you very much for that. Let's get on to our next exotic, and we're taking a pick 6. Darryl, you can go for it.
Yes, Clyde. This is not a 4,000 Rand perm. It's going to cost you 180 Rand. I have banked at number 6 in the 5th leg. That's double check.
Right, get that perm on. Let's have a look then at Daryn Burroughs' perm.
Mine is 1 and 2 by 1, 7, 8 by the full field in the 3rd leg by 1, 5, 9, 10, 13 and 14. Banker 6 in the 5th leg and 1, 2 and 3 at the back. 1,296 Rand.
Welcome back to Weighted to Win. Race number 4 is a novice plate. It's a plated race, so we go straight to weights to see what's best weighted in the race. And while waiting for summer does seem to be a few kilos better off in a race of this stature. And Daryn Burroughs currently trading at around 17 to 20. Is that our banker?
Not our banker, but he is very hard to beat. He's weighted to win. He's run off some really smart sorts in the Western Cape previously. His rating's down to 87 last time out. I thought a little bit disappointing. They moved past him like he was going nowhere, and then he ran back at them at the finish. That was against a stronger field. So he will be the horse to beat. I've thrown in Slings and Arrows. Last time out, he bounced back to much better form, and he's very capable on his day. And then Kapuzina, Cape Town form, got to go into the equation.
Okay, so you're putting Slings and Arrows in as the biggest danger. Darryl, you?
No, I've only gone 2 horses here, Clyde. The best weighted, waiting for summer. A little bit disappointing last time out, but he's slung in over here, so excuse the pun of there, Slings and Arrows, but he's slung in, yeah. But he is the one to beat on ratings. And then I got a healthy respect for the Western Cape Raider, Kapuzina. Far from disgraced since he's 3.5 months off the track, his break. Have a look at his form line, Clyde. He's got At My Command, Lightspeed, Scalini, Michael Faraday. I think we haven't seen the best of him yet, and he's going to trouble waiting for some of the most.
So you have respect for that, eh? That's currently trading second choice at 5-2 at the moment is Kapuzna. And, you heard Daryn mention that Slings and Arrows is going into the play as well. Let's have a look at what we're doing then in this race. We're taking some jackpots by that's doing the following: 178 by field, by those horses on the screen, 1, 5, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, and 15. And then right at the back, we're going to be bankering number 6 on the card. Double check. Welcome back. Let's have a look at our next now. Race 5 is a handicap at the 72 level. This is a mile event, and Holly's View is the one to beat here. Certainly got solid form coming into the race. Last time probably needed it and maybe did them a favour running that close over 1,000 metres, Daryn.
For me, Clyde, I've got stamina doubts about the favourites. I've ignored it. What price is Tartan Dancer, number 12 on the card?
Tartan Dancer, you can write your own ticket. Write your own ticket.
Well, that's my first choice at, I think, 66-1. Now, she had 5 starts in the Eastern Cape on the poly track. She didn't like the poly one bit. Last time out, back on the turf, she was drawn 14 out of 16. She didn't get luck in running, and she finished her race off nicely to run 6 lengths of Rose of Bayou. She goes up to the mile trip, which is won twice over from a 2 draw 52 kilos. In the height of her career, she achieved a 90. I just feel she's in a good space to run a much improved race. So each way value. The horse to beat, I thought, is Isle of the Winds. The Cape Town form that run 2 lengths of Fynbos, 5 lengths Academic Gold, handy galloping weight. I think she'll be right there, and Buttercup of the rest.
It's interesting you mention that. You look at a horse like Isle of the Winds, who's rated at 60 or something to that effect, and then you got a horse like Tartan Dancer, who's a 48. In the old days when we used to go top weight 60, bottom weight 48, should be carrying 48 kilos here based on her rating, Tartan Dancer, but she's any price. You've included her, Daryn. And it's interesting because it's a nice trifecta quartet horse to use. What do you think, Darryl?
I think she's at her best on a soft track. Hopefully they've had some rain during the week. That will give Darren's fancy more of a chance. Clyde, I like the look of Isle of the Winds. Now, she's a long striding daughter of Twice Over. She's at her best when she goes handy, if not leading. That hasn't been the case in her last 2 starts. She's down to 60. With 53.5, I expect Musi to push forward, and I think she'll be the one they have to peg back. Holly's View from 1,000 straight into a mile. The furthest she's been in her career was over 7 furlongs, and she came up for air late on that occasion. But the stable are trying her over this trip, and I'm sure they're confident that she is capable of getting the mile. A nice roughie from my side, Clyde, is number 9, Global Goddess. Have a look at her rating. From a 78 to a 64, 1 draw, I think she could finish in the money.
Okay. I see Miami Beach came out of Daryn Schrudy. That also Rose of Bayou came from there.
That's the same stable.
Same yard. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's what we're going to do with all that information. You got some Shrudys out of all that, and it's a jackpot. So make use of going field by 1, 5, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14. Banker the 6, our banker by now. And right at the back, we're going 1, 2, 3, 5, and 9. Chronicles of Narnia, she's likely raced. She's only had a few runs, and second in her last start to Rose of Bayou. She does look like the right one in the race, but there are a couple in here that have got chances, I would imagine, Daryn. One in particular one makes reference to is the likes of Saint Anastasia. Let me give you an idea on the market so you know where you stand. 10 Chronicles of Narnia, 3-1. 1 Saint Anastasia, 9-2. Which I thought's a bit of a big price. And 14 Sugarberry, 9-2 as well. Then 10-1, bar those 3.
Yes, Chronicles of Narnia, the horse to beat. Her local debut in the Eastern Cape was a good win. She was a runaway win, about 3.5 lengths. And then they dropped her in trip. She was looking for further. So that was a good second behind Rose of Bayou. And I think she's the horse to beat over 1,800 meters. I've got respect for Saint Anastasia. She has a deep draw of 14 to contend with. But on her best high fault form, she comes into the race Others to consider: Sugarberry, Cavian's Cara, Sarah Javer, and Maiden's Cove.
Yeah, we know already. We've made reference to the Rose of Bayou form that Miami Beach has come out of there and won. And horse like Maree ran second last, came out and run second. And those are the only two that have run starting form on the Friday or on the Thursday. Darryl?
Yeah, I like Chronicles of Narnia. I think she's the filly to beat. I found some value in number 15, Wintertime, the stable companion. Clyde, her turf runs are much better than her poly track runs. Her disappointing efforts have been on the poly track. You can see her rating is down to a competitive mark. They've opted to take the blinkers off, and she's got a neat draw. I think she's got upset claims. And then another one who's been very, very disappointing but capable is Duchess of Bernadette, number 8. If she behaves and she jumps on terms, don't be surprised to see her finish in the money.
I mean, she ran a cracker when she started there, and then she went backwards.
Yeah.
First run there, she ran second, and then nowhere.
Clyde,
So it's obviously
not
a problem.
one to rely on, but a nice one to have on your side.
Yeah. All right, and JP stays with it. Okay, it's a race that we're going to be doing the following with. Here we go. We'll show you. We're taking exacta. There are a whole lot of horses in here because we do believe it's that open. So they're the numbers. Take them down, and you can spend 14 Rand if you want to take it once or as many times as you want. Right, the Wedgwood handicap is what it's called. It's over 2,400 meters, and Justin Snaith's horse is the favorite. We've bankered this in everything. We believe it's hard to beat. Double check. The only time she came to this race course, she won, and then tried back in her hometown and ran fair sort of races. But back at Fairview now looks the right one, Daryn.
Definitely the right horse. I think she'll prove a runaway winner in this lineup. You know, she's been in the 2,400 meters twice. She ran second in open company behind or against the Colts. The future is bright. And then third in the River Jatez Stakes behind Young Love. That was a very strong race. Her 2 runs over 1,800 meters, a bit on the sharp side. With 52 kilos, I think she'll win very comfortably.
Okay, so overs for you from your perspective. What's your take on double check? Darryl, Maree? Overs?
Overs.
That's it. Done. Finished. Club. Put it up. That's what we're doing. There's no need to elaborate further. Double check. Hard to beat. So this last race on the card, 8th and finals, a handicap, and it's at the 88 level. We race them over 1,000 meters. Want to get Daryn Burroughs' idea at what he likes this last race. Let me give you an idea on the betting. Forest Spire's favourite at 17-10 for Gavin Smith and JP van der Merwe that team up. Paris Rex is interesting here. I want to ask you about this horse, Daryn, because I see the form line's been working out really well behind Narcos. Kaya's Hope came out and won. We saw that. We saw Clifftop runners cracking second. We saw Saltilus come and win from there. So, and we saw that horse Rock Garden come and run a drum. Even a horse like Cruisador came and run a close-up second. So I want to ask you, Paris Rex, you like it, or has it got the favourite to beat?
Well, I narrowed this race down to numbers 1, 2, and 3. But I like Rock Garden quite strongly. I think he's trading at 8-1 currently. I can't believe the price. Go back to his only run over course and distance when he won 4 runs back in February. Then he rested for, I think it was 6 months off the track, came back over 1,200 meters, a bit on the far side. And then last time out, he was caught deep around the bend on the poly and just didn't round his race off. He's reaching peak fitness, unbeaten course and distance. I think he'll take a lot of beating. And then Forest Spy should be right there on his run in the gold medallion. He's run off the likes of Clifftop, Port Louis, good 3-year-old. He should be right there. And Paris Rex, always right there. His form lines are quite decent. And he should be in the placings.
Okay, interesting. So your first choice coming with Rock Garden is the one to beat. Trading at a decent price. Charles and Clove is staying with the ride. Darryl, Maree?
Yeah, Clyde, let's touch on the one Paris Rex. Now, his form with the blinkers is quite decent and consistent. Third run after arrest. If you like his chances, have a look at number 9. I know Razor Red has put in 2 stinkers recently, but on that run behind Cruise Control, there's not much separating the two of them, and he's 3 kilograms better off. So if he bounces back to his best form, I think Razor Red is the value in the race.
Interesting. Drops to a 73 from a 76. Okay. And it's 1,000 meters. That was 1,000 meters when he ran that cracking third, and back over the 5 furlong now. So that could be a little bit of a shooty that Darryl is on. So we won't leave number 9 Razor Red out of anything. Okay, well, that's a wrap. Thanks for your time today, Darryl.
My pleasure. Thank you very much,
Daryn.
Clyde.
And, Daryn says Rock Garden is the play of the day, so we're certainly going with that. And Darryl's Shruti may well be one to include in swingers and trifectas, called Razor Red. Thanks for watching, everyone.